This program brought to you in part by Road Hog Legal. Road Hog Legal, looking out for you when others don't.
Hi, welcome to Two Wheel, Oklahoma.
Today we're going to take you down State Highway 80, beautiful twisty highway that's going to take us by a state park, a lodge overlooking the lake, baby buffalo, magicians, the lost city, monks living in their little monkery.
Monastery?
Or monastery,
Okay.
whichever you want to refer to it.
Sounds like fun.
It's going to be. So come right along.
Cherokee County, that's where we headed this time. A very beautiful part of the state, in my opinion. And we went touring along looking for Lost City, which is near Hulbert. Hulbert, you might recall, used to be one of the most notorious speed traps in America. They've straightened their act up, though.
I've been trucking across this country, and it's been a long, hard ride. Now I'm 14 hours from Tulsa, with my sweetheart on my mind. 14 hours from Tulsa, 12 if I make good time.
Oh, got the cop here.
A cop in Hulbert, imagine that.
Highway 80 intersects Highway 51 at Hulbert and goes along the west side of Fort Gibson Lake, and it's a really, really nice road.
So we decided to set up our base camp at the Sequoyah State Park. And the park is located on 51, about midway between Hulbert and Wagner. It's a pretty good sized park. The whole thing sits out into the lake, into Fort Gibson Lake. They've got golf, RV setups there, the lodge, all the cabins, tennis courts.
14 hours from Tulsa, 12 if I make good time. I can't hardly wait until I can see that gal of mine.
When we got there, we had to stop at the playground. You know, I mean, I'm a sucker for a big swing set. Hard to jump out of those things now, though. It doesn't work. It's kind of too tall or something.
Now we decided to stay in one of the cabins when we came here.
Yeah, they're nice. And we just as easily could have stayed here in the lodge. And they also have this cool area out by the pool called the Cabana. And so it's a pretty big place, and it's a fun place for families, and there's a lot of stuff to do here.
And right overlooking the lake.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
We got unpacked and we were running a little bit late, and I really, really wanted to go find Lost City. So we loaded up, headed out, and went touring down Lost City Road. Because I figured, you know, if there really is a place called Lost City, that would probably be a good place to find it.
Are we on a pilgrimage?
Yeah, maybe so. I didn't think about it that way, but yeah.
All the questions about Lost City, why is it called that? Did it get lost? Did people know where it is? Well, as we got there, we actually did get lost. None of our GPS wasn't working, the phones weren't working.
I've never been as lost as I have been with a GPS.
And of course we didn't bring a map because, you know, we're travelers.
We know why they call it Lost City Road now. I always thought it had to do with the city being lost. It doesn't. You go down the road and you get lost. Duh.
We're adventuring. We don't get lost, we adventure.
We found it! We found the lost city. Is this our Raiders of the Lost Ark episode?
So after spending about a half hour in Lost City, being lost, we wander around on these gravel roads with all the dust and come across Lost City Magic. And this is a father and son team of Cherokee conjurers. They're magicians.
We've done magic our entire lives, and as we got bored, we'd sit there and do magic tricks with each other and try to stump each other. And he'd do something and try to fool me, and I'd do something to try to fool him. And finally, we just decided, why don't we just go professional instead of doing this as a hobby?
Right, right. And then you've worked in like some Cherokee history, I understand, and so it's almost kind of like an educational thing in a way.
Yeah, it's part of our culture that we found that kind of died out. And as early as 1901, that the Cherokees used conjurers and magicians as part of their tribesmen. And it finally died. It died and went away. And we, researching our heritage, we found that, and we thought, well, we're magicians, and there's this. Let's bring it back and try to incorporate as much as we learned from it.
So right off the bat, these guys impressed me by making wasp appear. Wasps. I don't know what the plural is. Whole handful of wasp. Right there in the middle of this guy's house, he makes these wasps appear out of his hands.
Wasps are gone.
Very good.
I don't even like wasps, let alone having to hold a lot of them in my hands. So now we've got wasps flying all over the room, and he goes and gathers them up with his hands and releases them outside.
This is a member of one of the artifacts from our museum, and this is a unicorn's horn. And you've heard about the stories about knights and King Arthur and that kind of deal. The horn was really prized because they said that the royalty would take these horns because they believed that it would protect them from harm.
Okay.
But if you weren't pure at heart, then it wouldn't work. That was the downside to it. So a lot of people put their faith in it and ended up getting killed in battle.
Right.
So we're going to
I don't like where this is going.
So we're going to have you hold this, and you're just going to pick one of these two bags, and whichever one you pick, that's the one we're going to use.
Okay. I like that one.
You don't want to change your mind at all?
I think, no, that's my final answer.
All right, we'll set that one aside, and all you have to do now is go ahead and set the horn down and place your hand there on the table.
Okay.
Now remember, I gave you the option of changing your mind. So
Yes,
let's see if
that's
this
true.
works. Oh, it's a feather.
Okay.
So that worked out well. We'll go ahead and take your hand back because everybody wants to know what was in the other bag.
It was really fun. Their show was, you know, like a little bit of comedy, a little magic, a little sleight of hand card trick stuff, you know, and then even a little of this sort of like sideshow stuff with their Cherokee mermaid and some of these, you know, kind of funny little critters and that type of thing that they were telling stories with. It was kind of cool though. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
So if we sprinkled some holy water on a piece of paper, it'll turn to blood right there in front of that creature. And it'll also spell out the name of who its potential next victim would be.
Oh, and there you go.
We got a Rex.
Oh my goodness.
And the mark of a good magician is that a magician can do magic without props. So I have a penny, a dime, and a nickel in his hand. I want you to take two of them. Just go ahead and reach out and take any two. Okay, which ones did you take? There was a penny, a dime, and a nickel.
The penny and the dime.
Okay, we'll get rid of the nickel. Now give one back. I discarded one and you're going to discard one.
Okay.
Which one did you place in there?
Penny.
Penny? That's the one you're going to discard. Now I want you to flip the dime in the air and call it.
Heads.
Heads? In this envelope, I only have one card.
Jeez. Get out of my head.
It was really fun discovering these guys doing a magic show, but it was getting kind of late in the day, and we spent a lot of time being lost, so we decided we'd head on back to the state park and explore the lodge a little bit, and then maybe hit the hay in our cabana. We didn't stay in the cabana, actually.
Well, we came back through the lodge and we found Tina McCarter that says she can answer some of our questions.
I can try.
Some of the basic ones are when was the lodge built? And we had always known this as Western Hills, and we get here and it's
Sequoyah Lodge. Yes,
Okay.
the lodge was actually built in 1956 as Sequoyah Lodge.
So originally
it was Sequoyah
Lodge.
Lodge. Yes. Then they changed the name to Western Hills Guest Ranch, and it had stayed that way up until this last year. And they've gone back to the original name of Sequoyah Lodge.
Which sits in Sequoyah State Park.
Yes.
And this is a beautiful lodge. I mean, I guess it's been updated and kept a little modern as far as the systems, but this looks very much like 56 architecture.
Yes, it has, and that's their goal, is to keep it in its original state. Even with the improvements, they try to keep the decor original.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I should say improvements. You got a little more modern air conditioning
Yes.
and systems in place, but it's
an ongoing process.
Okay.
It's in great shape, and it's got that classic state lodge sort of look with the crab orchard sandstone, and the rooms are very kind of Western, and they even had like a special governor's suite and Miss Kitty's room, which kind of like takes the whole Western thing maybe a bit too far.
If you're seizure prone, you might stay out of the Miss Kitty suite. It's a little loud. There's a lot going on. The governor's suite, very 70s. Made me want to fire up a cigar and have a martini.
Warmed up to 58 degrees, so.
So we decided to call it a night and turn in early because everybody wanted to go to brunch the next morning at like 10 o'clock. Can you spot Rex? No, Rex went out for a swim this morning. It's been a couple hours. He'll come back. He'll come back. I'm sure he'll come back.
So the next morning we got up. We had an early morning because we had to be at brunch by 10. So that was kind of tight, but we were able to make it, and we headed down to the Canebrake. So we pulled up to the Canebrake, and it's a really interesting place. It started out as the yoga barn, and the restaurant serves a Sunday brunch that is world-renowned in these parts, and everybody said, you've got to try it, so we did. And doggone it, they were right. It was really good.
We get in there and I find the whole table spread out with this wonderful cuisine. Everything from apple smoked bacon, pumpkin soup, roasted beets, the turkey and pear salad. I mean, it just went on and on and on. A real eclectic mix of dishes. And then you turn around when you think you're full and you're done, and he's got just as many desserts with the same kind of mixture of foods and fruits and creams and pies and you name it. We've talked Sam Bracken, the owner, one of the owners, into taking a short break and sitting down with me and telling me a little more about this. Tell me some of the, or tell everybody else, some of the foods, types. I guess you grow a lot of it around here.
Sure. We have a small garden. We have about an eighth of an acre garden here at the Canebrake, and we grow almost all of our own herbs throughout the season. We grow all of our flowers for our tables. We have a small greenhouse that we kind of work through the winter with. From there, really consistently about 85% of our produce is within 100 miles. We definitely walk the talk when we talk about local stuff.
Okay.
I work with a number of Bixby farmers intimately. They grow things for us, our salads, our lettuces, our braising mixes, our green beans, our carrots, these things. And it's been a very successful relationship over the last 5 years.
I like that. Tell me, how large of a place is this? What kind of a size
Sure.
plot of land are you sitting on?
The Canebrake is on 220 acres. We are right on Fort Gibson Lake. We're just east of Wagner. We offer an adult experience, very casual. I'm an Okie. What I felt my home state needed, was a place for adults to disappear. We have a very extensive spa program. We have a yoga program. We have hiking and biking trails. It runs the gamut.
I kind of wish, well, of course, after eating all this food, I wish we had time today to go relax and try that.
Well, you could have a little breakdown on the motorcycle. Maybe I'll rent you a room. Or
That is tempting. When you go there, you've got to look Sam up. Sam is hilarious. He was a blast to talk to. He told me what they're trying to do is to really bring something unique to Oklahoma. And I think they really have. You've got to stop in there, try out Lisa's yoga, and try out Sam's cooking, and take a look around the place.
So we'd heard about this monastery nearby, and we happened to mention that to Sam, and he said they actually buy some of their lamb and cheese that they serve there at the Canebrake comes from Clear Creek Monastery. So we headed on down the road, headed for the monastery.
I wonder, of all the places on the earth, did they decide to come out and put a monastery outside of Hulbert, Oklahoma?
Yes. I think we might ought to ask that question here in about 30 minutes.
That's a question I need answered.
Well, it's like a seclusion thing, and I think they probably achieved it.
So we headed back through Lost City and all its wonderful gravel roads. And not getting lost this time, we did find this monastery. Really cool, really surprising. As you're pulling up to the monastery, we start seeing the monks in their robes, their handmade shoes, out there herding sheep with their staffs and building a wall. This was the real deal. Pull up to the building, and there we met Father Anderson outside.
We finally found Clear Creek Monastery, and I'm here with Father Anderson, who is the abbot of the abbey, as I understand.
That's right.
So what does that mean?
Well,
run
an
the place?
Abbey is a certain stage of monastic life when you get enough monks, you're an abbey. Before you're a priory, like Pryor, Oklahoma was a prior.
Oh,
An
really?
abbey is a full-fledged monastery, and the head is just the abbot. He's like, it really means father, like in
Okay, I
Hebrew. You know, it means like he's the father of the monastery.
Okay. And I think what I want to ask is why here?
Why Oklahoma?
In the middle of Cherokee County.
We were wondering too, but we say, well, God's providence has mysterious ways, and we just led us here. A lot of the monks here, the Americans, we have some French and others, but a lot of us are from the Midwest, from Kansas.
Okay.
And we spent time in France studying monastic life and wanting to bring it back to America, and it just worked out here. We looked in California, we had a place offered in Tennessee, but the Catholic Bishop of Tulsa really wanted us to come, and there was this beautiful property available, and we have friends around here, and it just worked out. Of course, we're in the heart of the Cherokee Nation, the good Cherokee people who came here from Georgia and places on the Trail of Tears, and so that's a big influence here too.
Sure, sure. How many people live here?
We have 43 monks.
Okay.
You know, we've got some other people who work for us, and then we have guests. Always have 5 to 10 guests.
Really?
We have
Okay.
a guest house for ladies and families too. A little
Okay.
further on, but men stay with us.
Well, can we go take a look around inside?
Sure.
Great, cool. Let's go.
So Father Anderson takes us on the full tour. We even got to see the few places that I guess the normal public doesn't ever see.
I thought the dining hall was very interesting. The monks take their meals there each day, and guests are welcome to if they're male. You can eat with the monks and even stay there. Women and families can stay in a guest house that's there on the property also. But if you want to eat with them, it's boys only.
Now, how self-sufficient is the monastery, food-wise and that type of thing?
Well, we like to be totally self-sufficient. Who wouldn't,
Really?
you know? But we do quite a bit. We grow our own vegetables, have our own fruit. We make our own shoes, make our
Really?
own clothing. We have sheep, of course, that provide some meat. We have a lot of milk products. Eat a lot of milk. We have dairy cows, Jersey
Okay.
cows. We make a wonderful cheese. It's very, very. We can't make enough sold before we even get it to any stores.
Oh, really?
It's a very popular item. We have a
Okay.
monk from Wisconsin who's done this all his life
Of
and
course.
just knows the trade. So we are pretty self-sufficient, you know,
Wow.
as much as possible.
Father Anderson told us that they have big plans there for the monastery. It's only about a third complete, and it takes them a long time to build anything because, I mean, they're really building it old world style. It's, you know, to last 1,000 years. The sanctuary is partially complete, and we got to go inside of that, and it was really interesting. The design of the building is actually made so that the acoustics allow the Gregorian chants to be heard throughout the whole building. And my favorite part was the carvings on the outside. They're being done by an artisan from Arkansas who's actually carving them just like they did in the Middle Ages. I mean, it's fascinating. And of course, though, they have a gift shop. So that was fun. They actually sell the cheese that they make there and little wood knickknacks that they make and books and that type of thing.
Well, Father Anderson, thank you so much for showing us around.
Thanks for coming.
It's a beautiful place here. and
Anytime.
And so you're saying that it's only a third done at this
Only
point?
a third done, but
Wow.
we're in this. We're building for 1,000 years, so you know we're not in any hurry.
So you're in it for the long term.
We're in the long term.
You'd
That's
say.
right.
And fair warning, when you drop by the gift shop here, I understand the cheese is addictive. So
It is, yes.
Sounds great. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Pleasure
Thanks.
meeting
Come
you.
again. Be
Thank
careful on your bikes.
We found out that Father Anderson is a reformed motorcyclist, used to own a Yamaha, for everybody betting out there, and does not think he is going to get another one, although we tried. After spending a good part of the day in the monastery, getting old for a tour, we knew we had to get back out and got on Highway 80 to finish our day down on Fort Gibson Dam. We're ending the day in front of Fort Gibson Dam, and we've had a beautiful day running down Highway 80. We've seen some really spectacular things along the way.
Yeah, this has been a really great day. I enjoyed the monastery a lot. And
the great food over at the Canebrake.
Right.
The magic show.
Yeah, the magic show was very cool.
I mean, it's been a blast. So, highly recommend this highway and all these things we found along the way. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
The Fort Gibson Dam is on Facebook. I like it. I like Fort Gibson Dam.
Forever and ever.
So the next morning, they come in and arouse me at arouse. That sounds bad.
The camera truck, courtesy Jackie Cooper Nissan, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Call 1-800 Get trucked.
I think it's Joe Cooper Ford.
I never got a picture of you all eating the cheese.
No.
Or cutting it.
So tell me, is every month truck month in Oklahoma?
It seems like it. I haven't checked December coming up, but I do know November is also truck month.
What are we doing?
We're posing for a picture.
You don't know.
So
This program brought to you in part by Road Hog Legal. Road Hog Legal, looking out for you when others don't.